the Embiid-less Philadelphia 76ers. It's been bouncing back and forth between a pick'em and the Sixers laying one against the Kings here. I believe this is only their second game, it feels like, in a minute here. So Sixers back at home here. Kings traveling to Philadelphia. Obviously, it hasn't been great ski without Embiid for the Sixers. I think 2-7 this year without him. But I believe those 8 of those 9 games have been on the road. So being in Philadelphia certainly feels like it could help this Sixers team get over the hump without him. Are you buying that, though, or do you think Sacramento's the way to look here?
Yeah, they've been on the road and they've been versus some pretty solid teams as well. So I'm not going to fault the Sixers too much for that. One thing that I want to mention on this game, the Kings, this will be their third game in 4 nights. And the Sixers, yeah, they are coming off of an overtime game. But before that, they had about 3 days off. So they still should be fairly rested. And again, you have a Kings team who is who's not as hungry as the Sixers team. They've won 2 games in a row compared to the Sixers, who are off back-to-back losses. So to see them at home in that spot where they're hungry for a win, even without Embiid, I think they have enough to get it done. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This Kings team, they've made my hell no list. I want absolutely nothing to do with them. So I'm already looking for every single reason to back the Sixers. And if I can get the hungry team at home who's playing better defense, I'll roll with it.
Oh, I love it. Our first, hell no, RC. Hell no. Absolutely not. Although they did have a couple of rough games against Detroit and Charlotte they pulled through. What are we doing here in this game here tonight, RC? Are you buying the Sixers here at home?
Yeah, from a side perspective, it's pretty tough. I think Ski brings up a lot of points. I know with the Kings, they're also the home to road splits. It's like they're polar opposites, right? They score 7 points less per game, and they allow 9 points less per game on the road than they do at home. I know they're slight dogs in this one, but as road dogs in general this season, they're 5-1 ATS, 5-1 to the under. They've actually kept all 6 opponents in that spot to their team total under as well, allowing 107.8 points per game. On the opposite side, we have a Sixers team, obviously without Embiid, they've been struggling offensively a little bit, especially in the more recent games. If we look at the last 5 games in general, they've stayed under their team total in 4 of them. And then the last game, they did go into OT. The last time they went into OT, the next game, they only scored 99 points. Now, I don't know where to go from a side perspective or even the full game total, but I think this is a situation where we look at the Sixers to stay under their team total, whether they win or not, because I feel like they're in a spot too that, obviously the Kings, they struggle offensively on the road. Maybe, like I said, win or lose, I feel like the Sixers stay under their team total here.
All right, things maybe a little lower scoring game here. Teddy, how do you look at this Sixers team? Better rested at home here. No Embiid, though.
Well, I'm going to talk about this game when it comes to best bets from a side standpoint. So we'll hold off on that. Stay tuned. You'll get to that opinion before this show is through. But from a total standpoint, I'm actually going to disagree with Ronald. And I don't like disagreeing with RC. But in this instance, we look at a whole bunch of instances. Okay, let's start with this. There was a lot of talk after the last game. They played Atlanta last time out. And that game was shootout throughout. The pace was there. All the talk after the game was we liked our pace. We liked our aggressiveness. We need to continue to do that. And that, to me, says we're going to keep on playing up tempo. All right. You have Embiid out. What are you going to do? Your low post defense isn't what it was. And you're going to go with a small ball lineup, play more up tempo. Sacramento has no problems playing that style. That's what they do. So I lean over in this one before I lean towards any team totals under. So, Ronald, you and I will have to agree to disagree on Kings Sixers, at least from a pace perspective.
It'd be a fantastic game here tonight, guys. So buckle up with that one.